They say you never really know someone until you see them at their worst. I thought I knew my wife. Thought I understood the woman I'd loved for 5 years, supported through every dream, encouraged to chase her corporate ambitions. But on a Friday night at her company party, watching her hand me a glass of wine with eyes that glittered like a predator who'd cornered her prey, I realized I'd been sleeping next to a stranger who wanted me humiliated and destroyed. My name is Derek Mason, and I used to believe in honest work and honest love. 5 years ago, I thought I'd found both. Every morning at 5 a.m., I wrap my tools in worn leather and head to whatever construction site needs an electrician who gives a damn. My crew knows I'm the guy who stays late to fix someone else's mistake, who buys lunch for apprentices, who never cuts corners. These hands are calloused from 20 years of real work, and I've always been proud of that. I married Vanessa Clark when she was 27 and I was 29. Small ceremony in her parents' backyard. Nothing fancy, just honest. She was working part-time at some boutique, dreaming of bigger things but content to wait. I made enough to support us both, and for 4 years, that's exactly what we did. Those were good years. Vanessa managed our modest 2-bedroom house, talked about maybe having kids someday. We were happy, or at least I thought we were simple dinners where she'd ask about my day and actually listen. Weekend hikes through the state park, movie nights on the couch with her head on my shoulder. Nothing fancy, but real. Then everything changed. A year ago, Vanessa got an offer from Apex Solutions, some prestigious downtown marketing firm. Big salary, corporate perks, a chance to prove herself in the business world. When she showed me the offer letter, her eyes lit up like Christmas morning. "Go for it," I said, kissing her forehead. "I'm proud of you." God, I was such a fool. The first month was exciting. Vanessa bought new clothes, sleek blazers that cost more than I make in a day, pencil skirts, heels that clicked on our hardwood floors like a countdown timer. She talked endlessly about her boss, Richard, her co-workers, the office culture. I listened, nodded, smiled. I was genuinely happy for her. But by the 3rd month, something shifted. The comments started small, little cuts that stung but didn't seem worth fighting over. "You're wearing those boots again?" "They're filthy," she said one evening as I walked through the door. "Can you shower before you touch me? You smell like work," she complained another night when I tried to kiss her hello. I laughed it off at first. She's stressed. New environment. It'll pass. It didn't pass. It got worse. Vanessa stopped asking about my day. She'd come home, pour wine, expensive wine now, not the cheap stuff we used to share, and scroll her phone while barely acknowledging I existed. When I tried to hug her, she'd stiffen like I was contaminated. "Not now, Derek. I'm exhausted," she'd say, pulling away from my touch. Then came the exclusions. Company happy hours, team dinners, office parties, events I'd never even known existed until she started not inviting me to them. "You wouldn't fit in," she said once, her voice flat as concrete. "These are corporate people. You just fix wires." Just fix wires. Like 20 years of skilled electrical work. Like keeping the lights on in every building she visits. Like the hands that built our life together. Like none of it mattered. I swallowed my pride. Told myself she was finding her footing, that she'd come back around. The woman I married was still in there somewhere, just buried under corporate ambition and new friends who probably made her feel embarrassed about her blue-collar husband. But late at night, lying in bed while Vanessa texted someone with a smile I hadn't seen in months, a smile that used to be for me, I felt something crack inside my chest, something that had been holding us together for 5 years. She was slipping away, and I didn't know how to stop it. What I didn't know yet was that she'd already decided to throw me away entirely. She'd just been waiting for the right moment to do it. That moment came wrapped in an invitation that should have been a peace offering but felt more like a trap. When Vanessa smiled at me that Tuesday evening and asked me to her office party, the first time she'd invited me anywhere in 9 months, every instinct I'd learned on construction sites started screaming danger, and I should have listened. Tuesday evening, I'm sitting on our couch reviewing blueprints for tomorrow's job when Vanessa comes home with energy I haven't seen in months. She's practically glowing, setting down her designer handbag with theatrical care. "Derek, guess what?" Her voice is sing-song sweet, like she's talking to a child. I look up from the electrical schematics. "What? There's an office party this Friday. Annual celebration thing. Rooftop venue, open bar, the whole 9 yards," she announced with unusual enthusiasm. She pauses, and her smile gets wider. "I want you to come." The blueprints slip from my hands. For 9 months straight, she's excluded me from every company event, every happy hour, every dinner, every celebration. I wasn't good enough, wasn't corporate enough, wouldn't fit in with her new world. Now suddenly I'm invited? Really? "You never invite me to those?" I said carefully. "I know," she replied, crossing the room to sit beside me closer than she's sat in months. Her perfume is different now, expensive, foreign. "I've been thinking. I should include you more. You're my husband. You should meet my colleagues, see where I work." Her hand touched my arm, and I almost flinched. When was the last time she touched me without me initiating it? "I'm sorry I've been distant," she continued with practiced sincerity. "I want to fix that." I study her face, the face I've been staring at for 5 years. She's saying all the right words, but something's wrong. Her smile is too wide, like she's performing instead of feeling. Her voice has that rehearsed quality she gets when she's lying about small things, where she went for lunch, how much those shoes cost, why she was late coming home. But this isn't small. This is big, and every alarm bell in my head is ringing. "All right," I answered cautiously. "I'd love to." "Great!" she exclaimed, standing too quickly, like she can't wait to get away from me now that she's delivered her lines. "It's business casual." Dress nice. Business casual. I don't even own business casual. I own work clothes and church clothes, nothing in between. Over the next 3 days, I watch Vanessa like a hawk watches prey. She's on her phone constantly, texting someone and smiling at the screen with that expression I used to think was for me. When I walk into the room, she locks it immediately, always with some excuse about work confidentiality. At night, she turns away from me in bed, her body a wall between us and whatever secret she's carrying. Thursday evening, I mention the party casually while she's typing on her laptop. "Should I bring anything Friday? Wine or something?" "Just yourself," she replied without looking up. Then, almost like an afterthought, "Oh, and maybe don't drink too much. I want you to make a good impression." "Don't drink too much." I set down my beer and stare at her. Why would she say that? In 5 years of marriage, she's never once seen me have too much to drink. I'm the guy who nurses one beer while watching the game, who drives home from every barbecue stone sober. She knows this about me. So why is she worried about my drinking at this party? Friday arrives like a sentencing. I put on my best shirt, navy blue, pressed, clean dark jeans, and my polished work boots. They're still work boots, just cleaner. I catch my reflection in the mirror and see exactly what I am. A working man trying to fit into a world that doesn't want him. Vanessa emerges from the bedroom looking like she belongs in a magazine. Sleek black dress, makeup flawless, hair styled to perfection. She looks at me, and for just a split second, I see something in her eyes that makes my blood run cold. Not love, not pride, something calculating, like she's looking at a problem she's about to solve. "Ready?" she asked with false brightness. "Ready," I answered. In the car, Vanessa chatters about who'll be there, what the venue looks like, how impressed everyone will be. I barely listen. I'm too busy running scenarios in my head, trying to figure out what's wrong with this picture. Something is wrong. Every instinct I've honed on construction sites, where one wrong move can kill you, is screaming danger. When we pull into the parking garage of Apex Solutions and ride the elevator to the rooftop, Vanessa adjusts her dress, checks her reflection in the polished doors. I watch her carefully. "You seem excited," I observed. "I am," she replied, glancing at me with that too wide smile returning. Tonight's going to be memorable. The elevator doors open. Music drifts through the air, soft jazz, laughter, the clink of expensive glasses. I step onto the rooftop and immediately know I don't belong here. But I also know I'm exactly where I need to be. Because when Vanessa hands me that glass of wine 20 minutes later, watching me like a scientist watches a lab rat, I realize tonight isn't about inclusion. It's about execution. And I'm supposed to be the victim. The rooftop venue screams money. String lights crisscrossing overhead like stars, a full bar with professional bartenders, clusters of people in suits that cost more than I make in a month. They're discussing market trends and quarterly projections like they're speaking a foreign language. Every eye lands on me when Vanessa leads me through the crowd, judging my jeans, my boots, my working man hands that look out of place, holding anything more delicate than a power drill. "This is my husband, Derek," she announces to each group, and the way she says it makes my name sound like an apology. "He's an electrician." The words hang in the air like smoke. Her colleagues smile with their mouths but not their eyes, shake my hand with limp grips, then drift away to more important conversations about people I've never heard of and deals I'll never understand. I stay near the bar nursing a club soda, watching. Vanessa moves through the crowd like she owns it, laughing, touching arms, leaning in close to whisper secrets. After 40 minutes of being ignored, she approaches with 2 glasses of red wine. "Here," she said, pressing one into my hand with unusual insistence. "Relax a little." I take the glass, but something makes me hesitate. It's the way she's watching me, eyes too bright, smile too eager, like she's waiting for something specific to happen. I pretend to sip, bringing the glass to my lips but not drinking. The wine smells expensive, complex. When Vanessa turns to greet another colleague, I pour the entire contents into a nearby potted plant. The soil absorbs it like a secret. I set the empty glass on a side table, cover it with a cocktail napkin, and make a mental note of exactly where I left it. Vanessa glances back, sees the empty glass, and her smile widens like she's won something. "Want another?" she offered eagerly. "I'm good for now," I answered. An hour passes. I make small talk with a few people, a junior analyst who seems genuinely friendly, an older woman from HR who actually asks about my work with interest, but my attention stays on Vanessa. She keeps checking her phone, touching her necklace, her nervous tell, glancing toward the building entrance. Then she disappears. So does Richard Cole, her boss. The man I've heard about for months but never met. Mid-40s, slicked back hair, expensive suit that probably costs more than I make in a week. I saw them talking earlier. Saw how his hand lingered on her lower back like he owned her. I wait 5 minutes. Then I excuse myself from a conversation about municipal contracts and walk through the rooftop doors into the building. The hallway is dimly lit, lined with glass-walled offices. I move quietly. Construction sites teach you to walk carefully around sleeping giants and hear voices coming from an office halfway down the corridor. I pull out my phone, start an audio recording, and approach the door like I'm defusing a bomb. Vanessa's voice cuts through the silence. "Did you see him drink it?" My blood turns to ice water. "I saw the glass empty." "He must have," Richard replied with satisfaction. "Good. Give it 20 more minutes. He'll be disoriented, probably passed out in a chair somewhere," she said with cold calculation. "Then we can do whatever we want." Whatever we want. The words echo in my head like gunshots. Vanessa laughs, a sound I've never heard before, cruel, satisfied, completely alien. "He's so pathetic. Blue-collar loser. I can't believe I married him." Blue-collar loser. The woman who shared my bed for 5 years, who I supported through 4 years of uncertainty, who I encouraged to take this job, she thinks I'm a loser. "Once you're rid of him, we can be together properly. No more sneaking around," Richard said with obvious relief. "Exactly. Tonight's the first step," she agreed enthusiastically. Once he's drugged, humiliated, and kicked out, I'll file for divorce. Say he was violent or abusive or something. No one will believe him over me. And I'll back you up. Say I saw him get aggressive, Richard offered without hesitation. My hand tightens around my phone. The recording is still running. Every word, every laugh, every detail of their conspiracy to destroy me. It's all captured in digital clarity. I could kick down this door right now, could drag Richard through the glass wall and beat him unconscious, could scream at Vanessa until she breaks. But I don't. Instead, I step back into the shadows and think. Construction work teaches you patience. Measure twice, cut once, rush a job, and someone gets hurt. Usually you. I back away quietly, return to the party, and retrieve the wine glass I hid. I wrap it carefully in cocktail napkins, slip it into my jacket pocket like evidence from a crime scene. Then I walk to the bar, order a ginger ale, and wait. 20 minutes later, Vanessa and Richard return separately. Vanessa scans the crowd, spots me sitting in a chair near the railing, and approaches with fake concern painted on her face. "Derek, you okay? You look tired," she said with practiced worry. I look up at her. This woman who promised to love and honor me, who just plotted to drug and destroy me, and smile. "I'm fine. Just taking in the view," I answered calmly. Her eyes narrow. Confusion flickers across her features like a glitch. "Are you sure? You haven't had too much to drink?" "Just the one glass you gave me," I replied, standing and stretching like I'm completely relaxed. "Actually, I'm feeling great. Ready to head home?" Vanessa's mask slips for half a second. Shock, suspicion, then forced recovery. "Already? We just got here. I'm tired. Long week," I explained, looking her directly in the eyes. "You stay. Enjoy the party. I'll catch an Uber." "Derek?" she started to protest. "It's fine, Vanessa," I interrupted, leaning in to kiss her cheek. She flinches like I've burned her, and whispered, "Have fun." I walk away, leaving her standing frozen in the crowd, probably wondering why her perfect plan just went sideways. Because the best revenge isn't hot. It's cold, calculated, and permanent. And I just recorded their confession. I don't go home. Instead, I drive straight to Margaret Sinclair's law office, the attorney who saved my sister's life during her divorce 3 years ago. It's 10 p.m., but Margaret works late, and when I call from her parking lot, she tells me to come up. Margaret is in her 50s, sharp-eyed, with a reputation for being absolutely ruthless in court. She listens to my recording twice, her expression hardening like concrete with each replay. "This is attempted drugging, conspiracy to commit assault, planning false accusations," she said slowly, setting down her glasses. "If that wine tests positive for anything, they're looking at felony charges." I pull the wrapped wine glass from my jacket. "Can you get this tested? I have contacts at a private lab. Results in 48 hours, she confirmed efficiently. She paused, studying my face. "Derek, we need to move fast. She's planning to file for divorce and make accusations. We file first with evidence and cut her off at the knees." "Do it," I said without hesitation. Margaret opens her laptop, fingers flying across keys. "I'll draft emergency divorce papers tonight. Adultery, conspiracy, emotional abuse. I'll also contact the police. This recording constitutes criminal conspiracy." "What about security footage? The venue should have cameras showing her handing me the glass," I suggested. "We'll subpoena everything," she agreed. Margaret looked up from her screen. "Derek, are you absolutely sure you want to go this far? Once we start, there's no going back." I think of Vanessa's laugh, blue-collar loser. I think of 5 years of marriage, 4 years of supporting her dreams, 9 months of watching her transform into someone who wanted me drugged and destroyed. "I'm sure," I answered firmly. "Then let's bury them," she replied with grim satisfaction. "I leave Margaret's office at midnight with a plan. First stop, home. I call a 24-hour locksmith who meets me at 1 a.m. Every lock gets changed, Front door, back door, garage, gate. I hand over cash, thank him, and lock myself inside the house that's finally just mine. Then I start packing Vanessa's things. Not carefully, just efficiently. Clothes into trash bags, shoes, makeup, jewelry, her laptop, personal documents. Everything that belongs to her goes into bags and gets stacked by the front gate like garbage waiting for pickup. My phone buzzes. "Where are you?" I ignore it. Another text arrives minutes later. "Derek, are you home?" I put the phone on silent and keep packing. At 2 a.m., I hear her car pull up. Vanessa's voice outside, muffled by the door. "Derek, open up!" she shouted. I sit on the couch, drinking water, listening to her desperation like a radio show I can't turn off. "Derek, we need to talk. What's going on?" she demanded through the door. Silence. She pounds on the wood. "Derek, please, I know you're in there. Just talk to me." After 30 minutes, her voice changes tactics. "Derek, I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Let's work this out," she pleaded desperately. I almost laugh. She still thinks I don't know, still believes this is about the cold shoulder, the insults, the gradual erosion of respect. She has no idea I recorded her confession, no clue that her perfect plan is about to detonate in her face. At 3 a.m., Vanessa finally gives up. I watch through the curtains as she loads the trash bags into her car, crying, mascara running down her cheeks. She tries her key one last time. It doesn't work, then drives away into the darkness. I lock the door, go to bed, and sleep better than I have in months. Saturday morning, Margaret calls with updates. "Lab is processing the wine glass. Police want to meet Monday morning. And Derek, I'm filing the divorce papers today. She'll be served this weekend." "Good," I replied. "One more thing. I contacted Apex Solutions legal department. Sent them a copy of the recording. If Richard Cole wants to keep his job, he'll need divine intervention," she added with dark humor. Sunday afternoon, my phone explodes with calls and texts from Vanessa. She's been served. She knows the game has changed. "Derek, what the hell? Divorce papers? You can't do this! Call me right now! We need to talk!" I delete every message without reading them fully. Monday morning, I sit across from 2 detectives at the police station. They listen to the recording with stone faces, taking notes, exchanging glances that tell me everything I need to know. "Mr. Mason, we'll need to interview your wife and Mr. Cole. This constitutes conspiracy to commit assault at minimum. If the wine tests positive for controlled substances, we're looking at felony charges," the lead detective explained. "How long until you arrest them?" I asked. 48 to 72 hours. "We need the lab results first," he answered professionally. I nodded. "I'll wait." Because when the lab results came back Wednesday morning, the detective called me personally. "Mr. Mason, we've got them," he said with satisfaction. And I smiled. Because Vanessa's plan hadn't just backfired. It had detonated in her face Wednesday morning. Margaret's call wakes me from the first peaceful sleep I've had in over a year. "Lab results are in, Derek. Rohypnol, high concentration. That wine glass had enough sedative to knock out a horse," she reported. I close my eyes, feeling something cold settle in my stomach. Rohypnol, the date rape drug. If I'd actually drunk that wine, I would have been unconscious within 20 minutes, completely vulnerable, defenseless. Whatever Vanessa and Richard had planned after that. I don't want to think about it. But I know it wasn't just humiliation. You don't drug someone with roofies to embarrass them at a party. "Police are moving now," Margaret continued. "Arrest warrants for both of them. Conspiracy to commit assault, attempted drugging, intent to cause harm. They're looking at felony convictions." "When?" I asked. "Today," she answered with grim satisfaction. I don't feel triumphant. I feel hollow. 5 years of marriage, destroyed because my wife decided I wasn't good enough for her new corporate world, because she wanted a slick boyfriend in an expensive suit and needed her blue-collar husband eliminated permanently. At 2 p.m., my phone buzzes with a news alert. Apex Solutions. Executive arrested in alleged drugging plot. Richard Cole's mugshot stares back at me. No longer slicked and confident, but haggard, shocked, like someone just told him his life was over. The article mentions an incident at a company event and allegations involving employee's spouse. Apex Solutions released a statement. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement. Mr. Cole has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. An hour later, another alert. Marketing coordinator charged alongside boss in drugging conspiracy. Vanessa's mugshot. Makeup smeared, eyes red and furious, expression caught between rage and terror. The article describes me as the intended victim and details the evidence, the recording, the wine glass, security footage from the party showing Vanessa handing me the drink. I set down my phone. It's done. Over the next 2 weeks, the story explodes across local news. Corporate crime blogs dissect it. Social media picks it up. Apex Solutions fires. Richard immediately after his arrest becomes public. Vanessa gets terminated for conduct unbecoming of company standards. Margaret keeps me updated on the legal proceedings. They're both out on bail, $50,000 each. But the evidence is overwhelming. Their lawyers are advising plea deals. What kind of deals? I asked. Reduced charges, conspiracy and reckless endangerment instead of the felonies, suspended sentences, probation, permanent criminal records, she explained matter-of-factly. No jail time? Margaret's voice softened. Probably minimal time served. But Derek, they're destroyed. Criminal records mean no corporate jobs, no professional licenses, no clean background checks. Vanessa will never work in marketing again. Richard's career is over. I consider this. It's not the punishment I imagined, but it's permanent. And permanent is what matters. Vanessa tries reaching me constantly. Calls, texts, emails. Her messages shift from anger to desperation to pathetic bargaining. Derek, please, let me explain. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I was confused. Richard manipulated me. Please don't do this. We can work it out. I block her number. Richard sends one email, short and bitter. You ruined my life over a misunderstanding. I delete it without responding. A misunderstanding. Like accidentally drugging your wife's husband is some kind of paperwork error. 6 weeks after the arrests, Vanessa and Richard plead guilty. The judge sentences them to 2 years suspended, 3 years probation, mandatory counseling, and permanent criminal records. They're also ordered to pay restitution to me for emotional damages, $25,000 each. I don't attend the sentencing. Margaret handles it. The divorce finalizes 2 months later. Vanessa doesn't contest anything. She has no leverage, no credibility, no defense. I keep the house, my savings, my pension. Vanessa gets nothing except her criminal record and her shame. At work, my story spreads through the construction community like wildfire. My crew doesn't ask questions. They just show more respect, buy me lunch, clap me on the back when they think I'm not looking one day. My site supervisor pulls me aside. Derek, corporate wants to promote you to foreman. Position comes with a 20% raise, he announced. I nodded. I'll take it, I replied. Life returns to rhythm. I wake at 5 a.m., wrap my tools, go to work. I lead my crew with fairness and skill. I buy a new truck, used but reliable. I renovate the house slowly, room by room, erasing every trace of Vanessa's presence. One evening, sitting on the back porch with a beer, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. Derek, it's Vanessa. I know you blocked me. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was wrong about everything. Can we talk? Please? I read it twice. Then I delete it, block the number, and finish my beer. The sun sets over my backyard, painting the sky orange and purple. I lean back in my chair, close my eyes, and breathe deeply. I didn't just survive Vanessa's trap. I dismantled it completely. And for the first time in over a year, I'm free. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, legal, and permanent. And I learned that the best justice doesn't just punish, It rebuilds 8 months after the arrests. I'm standing on a downtown construction site, reviewing blueprints with my crew. As foreman, I oversee 20 electricians across 3 active projects. The promotion came with better pay, better hours, and more respect than I ever imagined possible. My crew trusts me completely. When there's a problem, they come to me first. When corporate tries cutting corners, I push back. And corporate listens. I've built a reputation not just for skill, but for integrity. The house is different now. I repainted the living room deep blue instead of Vanessa's sterile beige. Replaced the furniture she picked out with a couch that's comfortable instead of decorative. The bedroom has new bedding, new curtains, no lingering trace of her expensive perfume. I date occasionally. Nothing serious, just dinners and movies with Sarah from the Electricians Union. She's funny, grounded, doesn't care that I work with my hands. When I told her about Vanessa, she just shook her head. Somewhere in the city, Vanessa might be regretting everything. The affair, the drugging plot, the arrogance that made her think she could destroy the man who loved her. But I'm not thinking about her. I'm thinking about tacos, about Monday's rewiring project, about the dog I'm finally ready to adopt. I'm thinking about my life, the one I rebuilt from scratch after Vanessa tried to destroy it. And as the stars come out one by one, I close my eyes and smile. Because in the end, I didn't just survive the trap, I thrived.